Hello. So the other day I pre-ordered the synth and it just arrived in the mail. This is the Arturia MiniFreak. So I guess in this video I'm going to open the box, we're going to see what's inside, and I'm going to give my first impressions. And then in the coming weeks I'm going to make a patch bank for this synth. If you're not familiar with my patches for different synths, just check out the playlist. I'll put it in the description. Alright, let's go. So it arrived like this from Thomann, a little smashed, because it doesn't really matter. Alright, so we'll slide this thing off. Cardboard box, little tab. Here we go. There we go. So we've got a USB cable, like a printer cable. I forget what it's called. Maybe it's called like Type B. All sorts of. This is not getting in focus. These are the plug adapters for different countries. It's nice to have. And here's the power. This is a little tricky to do one-handed. Alright. Under here we've got something wants me to register. Congratulations on your MicroFreak 6-voice polyphonic hybrid keyboard that fuses digital sound engines with analog filters. So this is exciting. So the MiniFreak I've had for a couple years now, and that, if I remember correctly, it's only 4 voices and it's only paraphonic, not polyphonic. So this should be, those are kind of limitations that are a little frustrating. And also the keyboard on that thing is, it's fun for leads and stuff, but it's not great if you're playing chords in any key other than C. If you have to do, complicated positions. Alright, so I'm going to go plug this in and we can hear what it sounds like. 1 second. Alright, so I've got this plugged in. First thing I noticed taking it out of the box is it's pretty heavy. So the MicroFreak, in comparison, it feels like it weighs like nothing. This thing, it feels very solid. Surprised because this feels like plastic. Let's see, turn that on. The keys themselves, they've got a good resistance to them, which will help, if you want to play with like a velocity, with some expression. Let's see. Volume. So the MicroFreak, the small guy that came out before this, the impressive thing about that is just how flexible this mod matrix is, and so what this adds is full ADSR. The MicroFreak in comparison only had decay and one control that did both decay and release. So that's a big difference. 2 oscillators, so that will give you a lot more traditional synthesis options. You could kind of do it with the MicroFreak, but it was just a little convoluted how you'd like detune oscillators or stack octaves and stuff. Yeah, and 6 voices, that's going to be great. True polyphony, that's going to be great. Still got an analog filter. So first impressions are, this is pretty cool. I don't know this weight. I'm gonna have to. I'll post the numbers in the video, maybe comparing how much this weighs compared to like a mini, like a Korg Minilog or like a MicroKorg or something. This feels maybe a bit heavier. Alright, so these sounds. That sounds nice. cool pad sound. The bass. Okay, so that has some aftertouch and velocity on the volume at least. I'm gonna have to do some tests. I'm gonna I'll at some point just do like a blank patch and we can just see, because like it seems like it's just jumping from no aftertouch to on. It doesn't really feel very granular. So I'll just test that and see with something that's more obvious. Not for me. That's cool. Not for me. That's nice. Quite a bit of bass. You're probably not getting that in the phone. So yeah, I'm just recording this through a speaker and into the phone mic. Let's see what else we got on here. Preset 9, Gigasaw. It's like a super saw thing. Geiger. Ooh, that's a nice kind of ambient sound. Actually, I have a sound like that for the MicroFreak, so yeah, it's I won't have to recreate that one. Cool. It's a bit strange. Kind of a new agey sound. That's cool. So one thing I was impressed with the MicroFreak, which is this is kind of an adaptation of, is how punchy you could get the arps to sound. So it'll be fun to see if this one lives up to it. So far I'm hearing a lot of cool like ambient sort of sounds, lo-fi ambient sounds. That's been pretty impressive that you could sequence a drum beat in, I guess. Like that. Cool. So I'll probably just run through all of these presets, and then I'll just put an index so you can jump ahead if you get tired of this, and I'll have some more interesting stuff to say at the end. Ooh, nice. That one's cool. Like a house bass. Interesting. I wonder how they're doing that. It'll be fun to figure that out. Yeah, I like that interesting little noise there in the reverb or whatever. So far I'm hearing a lot of things you could not do with the MicroFreak, so I'm pretty impressed. This is going to be a lot of fun to really dig into. Oh, that's nice. I made one of these for the mini log. It's kind of like a from the Tenet soundtrack. I have that kind of sound. Cool. Sweet. That's nice. I think I can do this better. So far, it's a good variety of sounds. I think it appealed to a lot of people. It's nice. What's up with that? There's like a little wave of noise that fades in after the sound cuts out. Okay, macros on this thing. Oh, you can select what it does. Oh, okay. This is a sequence. I didn't realize that. Nice. Wow. Alright, so there's no shortage of presets. We're at 102 now. It's a nice reverse delay effect. Some reverb. Cool. Nice. Almost. Cool. Alright, we're at 150. Wonder why this one's called Drunk Keys. Nice. Sorry about that. A lot of good pads on this thing, on the presets. It's a cool one. Cool. Interesting. Nice. Oh, I like that. Cool. Yeah, if you like pads, this thing ships with a lot of decent pads. Ooh, that's a good one. Wow, I'm at 233. I should have looked up how many presets this thing ships with. It's a lot. Alright, so we're at 257, that's where the init starts. I'm going to take a small break, and then I will just kind of build a patch. Alright, so we're at 257, and that's where the init starts. So there's 256 presets that ship with this thing. So I'm testing out the velocity sensitivity right now. So what I've done is I've routed the velocity just to pitch, and the amount is, I don't know, like 16 here, so it's something like that. So I'm going to go into the sound edit menu and go to keyboard, and what I've been playing around with, so one thing I did is I changed this from I set it to just aftertouch, so we can just measure the aftertouch. But you can set it this modulation source to be either velocity or aftertouch or both. But so in this case, I just want to just measure the aftertouch, and then you've got the option of S-curve or linear, and so. Because I'm going to push really gently and see like how much granularity I can get out of this. I'm pushing really hard now. I'm start letting go. I'm letting go. I'm letting go. So so that was set to linear. I'll try it again. So I'm pushing really gently, pushing harder, pushing harder, pushing harder. Pushing quite hard now, and then all of a sudden it kicks in, and then I'll let go. Alright, let's see if that changes if I set that to S-curve. So I guess that's not changing that at all. It doesn't seem like it. And so, I think when you're playing normally, right, you're not going to get very much granularity in that aftertouch. It kicks in after you push quite a bit, and then, you know, if you're not like taking your time and doing it really gently and finding exactly the sweet spot, it's just going to go from nothing to on to basically nothing again. So one thought I have about that is maybe it'll get better once the keyboard wears in a bit. But we'll see. So I'll post an update video after I've had time to get used to the synth, and we'll see how it breaks in. Alright, so if you have played around with the MicroFreak, there's a number of improvements here. So now we have two LFOs as sources, and you switch between them here. You have two oscillators. You have the release, a separate release from the decay on this envelope, and you have the digital effects here. I'm probably forgetting something, but that's what stands out to me at first. The You have volume on the oscillators, that's assignable. That you didn't have that on the MicroFreak. On the LFOs here, we've got all sorts of new shapes. So besides just sine, triangle, saw, square, sample and hold, slew, exponential saw, exponential ramp. You can hold down shift here and you can load in all these decaying decays, strum envelope, triangle bounces, rhythmic. There's a whole bunch in here, so that's new. On oscillator 1 here you have all the same wave types as on the MicroFreak, and I have a tutorial on my channel explaining how to use some of these. I think audio in is new, I don't remember that one. Then on oscillator 2 there's FM AM, multi-filter, surgeon filter, comb filter, phaser filter, and destroy. So those are new. I don't remember those being out on the MicroFreak yet, if at all. Let's see. Alright, so let's check out these effects. You have to push on the type button to turn it on. So chorus, basically the way a chorus works is it just doubles the signal and puts a vibrato on the doubled signal, and it sounds like let's set the depth to 0. Oops. So it's also rolling off the high end, which is nice because that's what the original Junos did. It's yeah. So oops. If you turn it all the way up, it sounds really thick. Maybe halfway sounds more traditional. Let's see, next effect, phaser. So turning it all the way up doesn't make it disappear. Sounds alright. It'll be interesting to see what I can do with that. Flanger. So a flanger is basically just a faster chorus, but with a feedback option. So it's basically a delay with a vibrato on the delayed signal. Sounds nice. Distortion. Cool. And bit crusher. Cool. 3-band EQ. Alright. So if you want to make a telephone effect or a scooped sound, I guess, or if you just need to fine tune your sounds, it's actually really handy. Peak EQ. And multi-compressor. I'll have to read the manual, see what those do. And that's it for the effects. I think that adds a lot. The MicroFreak was, the sounds did not sound very polished, and that's, just like the right amount of reverb, the right amount of chorus, the right amount of delay, it can do a lot to a sound to just kind of bring it to the next level. So I think this is a much more capable synth than the MicroFreak just because of the effects, and then having two oscillators, a full ADSR, two envelopes, no, I mean two LFOs. There are two envelopes, but the cycling envelope is either loops, so when it's looping, it's basically like a third LFO, but when it's in envelope mode, then it's like a single shot envelope. It just doesn't attack in a release right away. Alright, so I have an idea. I'm going to just quickly create a patch just to kind of test all the features of the synth. So I pulled up the init, one of these init patches. Let's create some sort of envelope. So one thing, this makes it really easy to dial the envelope into the filter cutoff. One thing that's kind of nice is to do one step removed using one of the assigns. So what you would do is you set the assign to the point where the envelope is affecting the cutoff. So you set that to that modulation point on the matrix, and then now when you set the velocity to modulate that assign 1 is going to modulate how much the envelope affects the cutoff. So basically, So basically now when I push harder, I get more filter as well. And you can do that separately in one of the menu options, but I think it's nice to just have it all just set on here. Let's dial some, I keep forgetting to exit, so maybe modulate the pitch a little bit with the, so this is a new thing, the granularity when you're under, what is it, under 10 or whatever, is you get the decimal points. So that's really nice for these lower values. Let's turn on the second oscillator. Let's tune it down a bit. Maybe change the, well, let's change it to a square wave. I just know that Morphet 0 is a square wave. I have a video that explains the basic waves and a few of the other ones, so if you're wondering how I knew that. Alright, so that's, then you can have a second one. Let's see, wave. What might we want to do? Let's try one of these weird ones. Let's set LFO2 to the cutoff or something. Set LFO2 to the cutoff. Didn't sound so strange. have to learn how this load thing works. I was apparently not doing that right because I wasn't hearing that. All right. I'm just kind of curious to hear how these effects might sound on this sound. Maybe some reverb. Where is that? There it is. That's cool. This is one thing I'm doing a lot, is when I'm pressing chords and one of my fingers sticks out, I'm pushing these buttons, I'm turning off the sequencer on accident and stuff. I'm not liking that. Let's see, let's turn on this one. Delay. Turn it on. Time. Interesting. Oops, keep. What, a chorus? Chorus? Alright, that's kind of basic sound that kind of runs through some of the features. Obviously we could do a lot more here, but you know, it's all the same thing. You just patch a modulation source to a modulation destination, and then you can get kind of creative with the assign buttons. You could just hold that one of these down and turn something, or set it to another point, and you can do like layers of that. You can what's the right word? But you can do layers of, you know, assigning it to a destination. So my first impressions are pretty good. So I bought this. It was like the pre-sale price was like 500 euros, which, you know, for this synth is with these capabilities is a really good price, I think. Compare it to something like the MicroKorg, which came out like 20 years ago, but they're still selling it for like more than it originally cost. That thing, you know, it's capable of cool sounds, but it's, you know, it's menu diving. You know, you don't have the dedicated knobs. You don't have this you only have like 4 matrix points on that thing. And I think they're still selling that for like $450 or something, 500 maybe even. I don't know. I paid way less for mine. That was 20 years ago. Let's see what else is around. So the MicroFreak, it's cheaper, but it's quite hobbled. It's, you know, the things that this thing has that doesn't is the difference between like a novelty toy and like a synthesizer you can do a lot with. And let's see, then there's the Korgs, the mini log. This thing has effects on it. It's got all this modulation matrix. I mean, you can do way more. This is way more flexible. You've got all these digital waveforms. You can do way more on this than you can on a mini log. I mean, that thing has it's got like a sound to it though, which, you know, if you want like I don't know how to describe the sound, but it's got an analog sound to it. So the ring modulator sounds really fat and juicy. But so I've yet to dive into this. I saw one of the oscillator modes has like a built-in ring modulator, but I think it was the FM/AM one. I haven't checked it out yet. So I'll follow up on that with later video. But yeah, for like this has got an analog filter. You've got basically all the features you would want on like a virtual analog style synth, plus all these digital features on the and you know, I don't think you'll be like complaining that the digital oscillators don't sound analog enough. I think, you know, if you've heard my patches for the MicroFreak, that thing is totally capable of like really analog sounding stuff. And you know, with just the added, you know, the separate release from the decay, I mean, that just changes I mean, you can all of a sudden just do any like classic analog style sound that you couldn't really do on the MicroFreak. Two oscillators, you can do all sorts of like detuning things, plus, you know, anything creative that you can dream up that's not like a traditional sound. It opens up a lot of things that you can do on the MicroFreak. Hydrasynth Explorer, was it the Explorer's the little one? You know, this thing sounds, it's easier to dial in a good sound. The dedicated dials, the mod matrix, it's way easier to use on that thing. When you're creating the patches on the Hydrasynths, you're menu diving, and it's not as fun as this. You have the immediate controls for pretty much everything, and the mod matrix makes it super easy to do the more complex modulation stuff. This thing is heavy, which, you know, if you want something solid, I think that, you know, the bottom here is all metal, so it feels like that. You know, it's got a weight to it. I guess if you're traveling, it's gonna be more totally possible to tour with this, but I think it would be, you know, it's added weight. So you have to factor that in. If this is something you can just easily throw in a suitcase as like an extra thing in your gear, or if it's kind of pushes you over. I think for most people, it's not going to be an issue. I mean, it's not super heavy. Well, it is heavy. Yeah, I think, you know, I didn't really dig into the sequencer stuff yet. We just have to read the manual or something first. But yeah, it's super accessible, super easy to understand. I have no doubt that it's going to sound great just because of my experience with the MicroFreak, and just knowing what features this has in addition. I can already tell it's going to sound great. The presets sounded cool, but I think, you know, there's still room for me to do my thing. I think I've got some stuff I can add to that. So I'm not worried about that. I think, you know, I like there's a lot of great pads and a lot of like sort of lo-fi soft sounds, but I think I'll have a lot of fun making new sounds on this thing. I'm going to release a patch bank for this as soon as I can. Just have to find some time and crank that out. And yeah, so if anybody has any requests for patches they're dying to have on their MiniFreak, just leave them in the comments, and I will, you know, add it to my list. And as I'm working on this, I'll take a good stab at it. And I think, you know, this is so flexible. There's so much stuff you can do on here that it'll be fun. I think there's a lot of stuff I can pull off that I couldn't do on the MicroFreak or some of the Korgs and stuff. And if anybody wants like a tutorial, I can just do more videos like that. If you want to like kind of learn how to create a specific kind of sound, like a pad or a horn patch, or, you know, whatever it is, a sound from whatever song or something. Yeah, just leave it in the comments, and I'll take a stab at it. All right. I'll post hopefully an update video about the synth once I have more experience with it. It just arrived, so enjoy.